watch fans? We've got an amazing watch market update for you today. Make sure you click the like, subscribe button before we even get started. Yeah, we got we got only a couple minutes here. I just want to do a quick thing here. The Rolex is releasing the new watch, and as you saw in our post, we had a post early today saying, hey, this is going to be kind of like the Rolex Oyster Quartz Midas, Cubitus mix. And of course, Juan and Kino, this guy steals hubcaps. This guy is the hubcap thief. Him and Kino stealing hubcaps. They've been deported to La Isla de Cucarachas. He is a subscriber to our channel, so he obviously saw that post. That's right. Juan and Kino is subscribers to the Watch Reporter channel. Unbelievable, but true. That's right. Unbelievable. So now he did a video, and I want to show you this video because it's like this guy talks about his first romantic experience at the bathhouse in Miami. Hang on a second. It's unbelievable. Let me do a quick playback speed. Let me see here. There we go. Okay. Now watch this guy's expression. You can see he's this guy's what, 80 years old. He's thinking about his first sexual experience with Kino.
Show in the world, we really do. And ladies and gentlemen, I have some wonderful information that I would like to share with you guys. And in 1980, in the year 1980, I was 18 years old. I just turned 18 years old. And Rolex, fact.
And that's when he had his first experience with the hubcap. The hubcap. That's when he was trying out for that some video. He was getting groomed, the casting couches, whatever. These guys, who knows?
Introduced a new watch model. It was an unbelievable looking Rolex watch model. It came out in 1980. It's the Rolex Datejust, reference number 17013, and it was a two-tone. If many of you out there know that reference number, you're gonna know what watch I'm talking about, like that. It was the 17013 two-tone, and it had a beautiful blue dial. I was 18 years old and I was dying to get this watch, but I didn't have the resources of money and capital to.
So he went to the bus station. You guys ever see that movie Midnight Cowboy? That's what happened. That's Juan and Kino. They went to the bus station. And, you have to do what you got to do to earn, $20 the hard way. You got to see that movie, Midnight Cowboy. You haven't seen it? You Google it.
Purchased a watch. And that watch, it was from 1980, 1980, 80, 81, 79, something like that, But they were very, very advanced with their, with the new way they did this watch. It was beautiful. The bracelet was the most beautiful thing this watch had. And this watch, it has something different from
unbelievable. That's
Rolex,
right.
Watch.
Our chat is only for members only. Chat for members only. This is a piece of shit. I mean, again, one of the ugliest watches ever made. Basically, look, what Rolex was doing is they were ripping off. What does that remind you of? The Royal Oak. That's right, the Royal Oak. So the Rolex, what they're doing is they're kind of doing a Royal Oak / Cubitus. So they're doing a new release. We're going to see it on their website, and it's basically a Royal Oak and Cubitus rolled into one. Let's take a look. Here we go. Look at this. Unbelievable. Unveiling new watches. Wow. Wowzers. They don't show you the wow. Look at that. Okay. There's the bracelet. There it is. Oh, you see? Oh, you can see. Okay. So it's gonna have a display back. They're gonna show you a display back. How do we know this? Because they're showing you the movement. They're showing you the spring. You're going to see that in the display back. It's going to be kind of cool, actually. There's going to be display back. It's going to be a thin case display back. And all the window lickers are going to go bananas. They're going to go bananas for this. And so let's get back to Juan talking about his first window licking experience. But the new bracelet is going to look it's going to I actually believe this watch, it's not going to be round. I think it's going to be a square. You heard it here first. You Google it. That's right. You heard it here first. The new Rolex is going to be a square. It's going to be a square. It's not going to be round. It's going to be a square. That's right. It's going to be a square. You Google it, okay? It's going to be a square dial, just like the Cubitus, okay? And the bracelet is going to match, because if it doesn't, it's going to look very, very weird. So it's going to be definitely a rectangular square shape of that dial. Unbelievable, but true. This is the only channel that's telling you this. Now let's get back to Juan and Kino talk about his first experience with the hubcap in Miami.
Had a quartz movement. was beautiful, as you can see in the picture. It was a beautiful time machine, but it was quartz, and I was really dying to get this watch. You know, I really wanted it, and I really wanted to get this watch until I was able to buy this watch. A few years later, like probably
do a lot of service at the bus station, lot of servicing at the bus station. Those $20 bills all added up, and
20 years old, I was able to get the watch, and I bought this watch in Miami, downtown Florida. I bought it from a jewelry store, jewelry/watch store, which is still around. It's called Bachwood Jewelers in downtown, and I bought it from them. And
look how excited he sounds. He sounds very excited.
Something like
all
like $1,300, you know, 1980.
That was a lot of money back then.
83, something to that.
1,300 is like, that's like shit. $1,300 in 1980 is like the equivalent of maybe 7,000 in today's money, maybe 8,000. Yeah, like 8,000. That's like $8,000 in today's money. 7,500, 8,000. That's a lot of money. So Juan must have, serviced a lot of gentlemen at the bus station.
$1,500. It was beautiful. I mean, straight, clean line finishes. It was very advanced. For the year 1980, they were ahead of the game. Beautiful. I mean, to me, it has the most beautiful bracelet. Beautiful. The links, the profile, the polish. With the edge. The edge. It was unbelievable, this watch, and I went nuts with this watch. I had, like I said again, 36 millimeter. It's a Datejust, with an oyster quartz.
Look how excited he sounds.
Boy, did I have fun with that watch. If you had that watch back in the very early 80s, wow, you were like something special. At least that's what I thought.
You
went to the club scene. You went to Faces in the Grove. You went to Cats in the Grove. You went to Regine's
Bathhouse.
You went to Club Z. And you're like, wow, you had this beautiful, beautiful Rolex. Oyster quartz,
with the main country bathhouse. I think the one in New York.
So I got the watch, and I still have this watch, ladies and gentlemen. This beautiful, two-tone yellow gold stainless steel, and the casing was kind of, as you can see in the picture, kind of a round radius, it's square, like square, like I don't know what it was,
wow.
Oval, octagon, whatever it is, but it was just very ahead of the time. I don't know if Rolex was doing that watch at that time to compete with AP, with Patek, I don't know, even Vacheron, Constantin, but it was very ahead of their time with that watch model. And for some reason, the watch just died out. It died out. It never really claimed, championship.
You know what? It's ugly. It was just off. It was off. It was off.
It wasn't automatic or mechanical, whatever you want to call it. It was.
It was basically a ripoff of the Royal Oak. I mean, look, everybody was trying to do the Gerald Genta thing at that time. You had too many guys. You had AP doing that watch. You had Vacheron doing that watch. You had IWC doing like something called the Yacht Club, which was also designed by. There was like four or five watches from all the brands floating around that had that Gerald Genta brutalist architectural
watch. And the reason I'm doing this video is because nostalgia. I don't know if you got these pictures, but we have some other pictures of a watch that basically we truly believe this watch is going to be released first Monday. This Monday coming up is going to be released. And that is they're calling this watch the Land Dweller. Or I'm calling it the Land Cruiser.
This guy knows a lot about cruising. He knows about cruising.
Juan knows finishes cruising. That the oyster quartz Rolex, quartz had, clean. With the profile bevel finish, a Midas finish on it. I mean, It looks unbelievable.
By the way, I reached out to your fellow Danishman. This guy, Mike, that's the This Watch, That Watch guy. I said, hey, why don't you come on the live stream? We'll do an interview. Because this channel is very big. It's huge in Denmark. And no response from Mike, from This Watch, That Watch. That's right. I'm surprised because usually the Danes are very good about responding. But anyway, I did reach out. I said, look, this channel is huge and bigly in Denmark, and would love to have you on because we got a lot of your peoples here, and he has not responded. So, but I did that for you, Mr. Baron Memovox. Baron Memovox, you should know that the chat now is for members only. That's right. It's a peasant-free experience. This channel is now a peasant-free experience, only for aristocrats. Anybody that wants to become an aristocrat, $4.95 is the investment to totally transform your life. Unbelievable, but true. I don't know. What do you think of this
Well,
watch,
as you can see in the
Baron
picture, I
Memobox?
mean, you know what?
That's the watch. Okay, so what you notice is, this is the new Rolex. The new Rolex bracelet is much better quality. So it's not gonna be that chimsy. It's not gonna be chimsy. It's gonna be like solid. But you know what? Something about it just kind of looks cheap. This, I don't know, it just doesn't look right. Just doesn't quite look right. I think the problem is it reminds me too much of the Royal Oak bracelet, and you can only have one. Everything else has a copy. The Royal Oak bracelet is beautifully made. The new ones are better than they were in the past, no question. Again, I'm not a fan of the new Royal Oaks because I think that they're going downhill with the prices, but the quality is much better bracelet wise. Now, this is. This is going to be a problem watch. I think this is going to be a dud. I think there are going to be a lot of window lickers. The window lickers are going to line up. They're going to lick those windows. You have to flex that watch. The mic. You're saying that the guy from Denmark is ripping off content from Mr. Miyagi? This whole YouTube channels, these watch channels, it's just so incestuous. It's so incestuous, unbelievable. But no, we're talking about the guy who's does very detailed stuff, right? I think he's in Denmark. But anyway, he speaks English great. I mean, this guy, he's got amazing language skills. But anyway, this watch is going to be a turd. Yeah, it's just wrong. It's just everything is wrong about it. People, again, after the first wave of window lickers, it's going to be like the beach at Iwo Jima. The beach at Iwo Jima, the Marines storming the beach at Iwo Jima. The first couple of waves, they all got mowed down by machine gun fire, right? And that's what's going to happen. The first waves of window lickers, they're going to be left holding the bag. They're going to be bag hodlers.
What I'm going to show you on these pictures is the bracelet, because I think this bracelet is going to be the bracelet that people are going to go nuts for. They're going to go bananas, and
this guy has bad taste. Again, this guy has zero taste.
I believe I don't know if it's
just look at that cheap vinyl frame he's got in the back there with that fake Botero. He's got a fake Botero post. That's insulting to all the Colombianos.
An automatic movement or quartz movement. I'm going to say, Kino says it's going to be an automatic movement, and I'm going to stick to my quartz.
No, it's because you're an idiot. You're pendejo. You're maricon. Maricon, papi, tu maricon, pendejo. Hubcap thief. You don't know anything about movements. The only movement you know about is the bowel movement you make once a week. This guy has a bowel movement once a week. He eats some prunes because he's constipated all the time. And no, it's going to be an automatic movement. And we already know it's a display back. It looks like a pretty nice display back. It's got the movement is actually going to be kind of cool. It's going to be like a high-tech looking movement. We've seen the pictures, right?
Movement. And I think it's going to look beautiful the way you can see the lock. The lock mechanism on the watch. It looks. It looks. It looks
shit! How did these presents get in?
Watch on Monday,
these
April.
These guys not even barons. How did they get in here?
I don't know how Kino got these pictures, but he got these pictures, and I told him this. This has to be it right here. This has to be that Datejust, oyster quartz from back from the 80s. They're bringing it back, and I'm happy because I honestly believe, ladies and gentlemen, that this is going to be something that people are going to go nuts. And if it comes
Juan wants to touch your clock.
Kino says it's going to explode. But even if it doesn't come,
Rolex release
automatic movement, it comes with a quartz. I think
Rolex release. It's going to be oyster quartz.
I really believe that Rolex.
It's going to be like an oyster quartz and King Midas rolled up. It's basically going to be a bastard child of the Rolex Midas, the oyster quartz, the Royal Oak, and the Cubitus all rolled up into one. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be just a giant clusterfuck of a watch. And the window lickers are lining up
to be in the same level. I've been telling you guys about this for some time already. They want to be in the same level as AP, Patek Philippe, Vacheron Constantin. They want to be in that same level. And you can see in the picture, the finishes on that Rolex bracelet, straight, clean line finishes, with bevel edges.
Something about it just looks kind of like, it's too, okay, I'll tell you what the problem is. I think the problem is you got too many of these small little links in the middle. They're rectangular, and that makes it look like, I'm judging. I haven't. You probably need to see the watch in person, right? Fair enough. You got to give it a chance, right? You got to see it in person. We can't judge from one screenshot. From what I see first, it looks kind of cheap and nasty. But I might be wrong. It might actually look pretty nice in person. But I'm willing to bet it's going to be a square rectangular dial. It's going to be like a Cubitus. It's not going to be round. We're going to look for a Cubitus. That'll be a game changer. So I mean, look, Rolex is doing some new things. But I'll tell you what, maybe they're lazy. Maybe they're being very lazy. They're going to be lazy, and it's going to end up being like just an oyster quartz redo.
I mean, something that you would see only on especially on AP. You see those kind of finishes on Audemars Piguet, and I see that Rolex is, if this really is released.
I gotta say, no, the finish. Look, Rolex finishing now, the bracelet quality now is top notch. It really is. The Rolex, again, it's not what it was 20 years ago. The new Rolex bracelets are top notch. The quality is great. Again, the sports models are a little bit wonky. The dimensions are off. They're too big. The cases are a little bit, the 41, whatever they call it, 41 millimeter maxi case. They're just a little bit ugly. They're a little bit off. The ceramic, it's a little bit bukkake. But the dates are beautiful, and what can we tell you? You know what? What if this new oyster quartz is actually a day date? I mean, it's a day date, but with that bracelet. What do you think of that? What do you think of that? Could that be the case? No, they're doing great quality. I really like. I'm no fanboy, but they are doing. You have to say they're doing really good quality these days. In terms of the finishes of the case, the bracelet, all that. And you got that thing that lets you expand the bracelet. What do they call it? Not quick. The adjustment thing, which is great. No, it's great. I mean, I do have to say Vacheron. Vacheron has an edge because of the quick. Actually, I'm wrong. I'm wrong about the Vacheron thing because I don't think you really can't put a modern Rolex on a strap. It just doesn't work. I don't think it works. The vintage ones, yes. Modern ones, no. So Vacheron, you could. So it's just a different watch. Yeah, no, the quality is great. I tell you, it's people, at the end of the day, everybody always comes back to Rolex. And they start with Rolex, salesman with facial. Who's that? Salesman with pubic hair on his face. Who's that? There's so many of them. I don't know. You talking about the Pillsbury Doughboy? You got... There's another guy. There's another Pillsbury Doughboy. There's another Taliban beard guy. There's a Taliban guy. What's the guy? Some guy in the UK. There's another guy. What the hell's his name? I don't know. Whatever. Who knows? Who knows? Some bukkake guy. He's some guy from Bukkakistan. He's got the Taliban beard. Nicholas sent me a video about this guy. He does some sort of impersonation. Who's that? Oh, I don't even know what this is. What is this blue? What is that blue icon? Is that like some sort of like gay like signaling thing? Like the handkerchief in the back? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's the look. The thing with the finishing is really very good stuff now, right? You got a Baltic. How about that company Baltic, right? Baltic. It's a $500 watch. Really good quality, apparently. Oh, the hubcap thief on the screen. Yeah, he does have it. That is a pubic hair. Yeah, he got a haircut, apparently. He got a haircut, and he's doing the pubic hair. He's got the pubic hair That's his mouth. His mouth is a giant vagina. That's right. That's like a giant. It's like a '90s. He's got that '90s porn star thing. You know, where you got the bush on top. You got the little bush on top type of thing on the sides. The bush on top on the sides, early '90s look. So that's what Juan is doing. He's got the bush, the '90s porn star bush on his face because that's good for the bathhouse action that he gets. Patek. Let me see this. Oh, there we go. Patek 1/4. What? What is it? Patek? What is it? What is this? I don't know. 1436. I don't know what this. I don't know what watch the guy's talking about. This guy. You got to send money now. You got to become a member of the channel, like Duke Davidson. Like Duke Davidson. There you go. Like Duke Davidson is a baron. Look, we're not going to answer questions from peasants. We're doing a peasant-free experience on this channel. No peasants allowed. Only the aristocrats here. Unbelievable, but true. But that's what's going on. So Juan is talking about his first sexual experience with Kino in Miami.
On Monday, April Fool's Day, it's going to be unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. I've been saying already that Rolex spends millions and millions of dollars in research and technology, on a lock, on a watch, on a bracelet,
Look how excited he sounds.
Millions and millions of dollars.
What they got to put out? They invest millions in a lock, so this guy doesn't steal the hubcaps. That's why they're spending all that money. I mean, they're spending money on locks, so this cap doesn't steal their hubcaps.
I don't think there's no watch brand out there that spends the amount of money that these people spend on technology, research. I mean, while many people are still, using carburetors in their car, they're using electrical, parts in their car. They're flying, they're flying. And I honestly believe, as you can see those pictures, I mean, we're only looking at.
Look at that. That's the picture. That's the picture. Unbelievable. Oh, look at this. We're getting real money now. Finally, this is the trick to the whole thing. You got to get one of these guys like Peto Philippe. You know Peto Philippe, right? Peto Philippe. Where he does like $2 super chats and all that, and then what happens is then it gets other people to donate money, right? So we need to get one of these people, one of these aristocrats who will donate a couple dollars in each live stream, just like Pedo Philippe, so that way we get the big money. We got to get the big money coming in on these chats. Did watch Nicholas get scanned by Pakistan? Are you talking about Pedo Philippe? Yeah, I think Pedo Philippe basically told him. Pedo Philippe told Watch Nicholas that if he would let him, touch him in a certain place, he'd keep giving him super chats. And apparently it stopped. Apparently he was supposed to be putting him up at a hotel. They're going to be sharing a room together at the Watches and Wonders in Geneva, right? So what's going on at the Watches and Wonders is it's going to be, we know that the sex trafficking is going to be happening with the Okuk. The Okuk is going to be trafficking Keslo. Keslo is going to be sharing the hotel room. And Watch Nicholas was originally supposed to traffic, what's his name? He was supposed to traffic this guy from the Midwest who's never been on a plane before. Like literally, he's being trafficked. This Meech, the big Meech, was literally being sex trafficked by Watch Nicholas. He's putting him on a plane, getting him a passport, the whole deal. I mean, that's what you do, right? He's literally sex trafficking this guy to into Europe, where he's going to be, made to work in, to provide services for gentlemen in Geneva and Zurich. Because apparently they like that, the farmer, the American farmer. There's an American farmer fetish. So this guy, Big Meech, is some sort of farmer, and some of the Europeans, they got like a farmer fetish, American farmer fetish, and all that. So that's what's going to happen. That's how Nick is paying for the trip by pimping out the big meech. I mean, it's unbelievable, but true. Oh, look at that. That's oh, that's funny. Oh my God. You know these channels. That's funny. I think oh, is that what happened? Oh, I think that's what happened. Oh, wow. Because I know he keeps leaving channels every week. He's on a new channel. Oh, Kessler. Oh, he's in Amsterdam now. Look at that. That's right. I actually didn't know. I didn't know there was a gay side. I had no idea. I never heard of that. I didn't know that. I've only seen shit. The last time I was in Amsterdam was years ago, and no, I only saw women in the booths. The booths. Remember that the booths, and yeah, I didn't know that they had a gay side. I've never seen that in Amsterdam. Um, Interesting. Maybe that's. Do they have male prostitutes in Amsterdam in the booth, like in those window booths? Maybe that's what Kessler was doing. He's probably visiting those booths and learning. He's probably learning new tricks for the sassy power bottom cuck, the sassy size 7 Skechers wearing power bottom. That's what's probably going on right now. All right, gentlemen, as we say, that basically covers the Rolex release. I mean, look, it's going to be just a dumpster fire of a watch from the looks of it. That's what's going on. It's going to be a dumpster fire. The Rolex is going to be a dumpster fire of a watch. And don't be a window licker, okay? Don't be tomato cans. Don't be window lickers. This is going to be a flaming turd. It's going to be a flaming turd. That's what this looks like right now. But I may be wrong. Sometimes you got to give them the benefit of the doubt because maybe in person it's going to be something really crazy. But I would say 80. I'm willing. I'd say right now the odds are looking 80% that it's going to be nasty and vicious. By the way, you know what's interesting? I just want to one last comment is, you see that bracelet? They got the clasp like that. They were doing something like that on the Oyster. They had that Oyster, which kind of had this hidden lock. That they did that. They did that look for the day dates. It wasn't very popular, but there was like an Oyster bracelet option for the day date, which had kind of like a similar type of thing. And maybe that's why I don't like it. It looks cheap. It looks cheap and nasty. I don't know. I could be wrong. But look, what's going on is that we do also know that Rolex has all those people that they brought in from Bucher, and that's the big news. That's really the big news, right? Bucher, that's the big deal. That's the elephant in the room. Because what they did was they got all those watches, all those complications. Bucher has some very cool watches, right? What they're going to do is they shut down Bucher. They're going to put, just take all those movements, put them into new Rolex, Cellini type cases, and that's their new dress line. Maybe even bracelets. I mean, I actually think Rolex. I hate to say it because it's just like I don't want to sound like a fanboy, because I'm not. But I believe with the Bucher move, Rolex is gonna be like they're gonna kick like AP out of the whole equation. Like Rolex is gonna be like, really considered like the so-called Holy Trinity, right? They're gonna kick back. It's gonna be really Patek and Rolex. That's it. AP and Vacheron are gonna be really wrecked a year from now, because that's when Rolex is gonna have the new complications from Bucher that they're gonna be putting out, and in more like interesting cases with the Rolex logo. They're gonna have boutique editions. And that's going to be a game changer, because at the end of the day, like I think people are disgusted. I think they're really disgusted with these APs and even Patek, right? By the way, I'm actually disgusted with JLC, and I'm wearing that watch, right? The Géographique, the dual time. I think there's something wrong with the watch. It stopped the other day. I had it, I put it down. It stopped. It stopped a couple of times. The power indicator was full. Something is either power reserve, or it's not. It's not powering properly. Something is wrong with the watch. And I don't know. I was always under the impression that JLC was like a very reliable, bulletproof watch. I mean, this thing is a little bit. Obviously, it's got some complications. It's got some extra complications, but. Like, I don't need to deal with that bullshit. I don't want to spend $1,000. It's going to be more than I don't want to spend $2,000 on a repair for a JLC. I really don't, because it's not worth it. I mean, I'd rather just maybe dump the watch, like just get my money out of it and let somebody else deal with that. Because I don't want to deal with repairs. 6 months. It's going to cost probably $2,000. It's just not really. It's just not worth it. I'd rather get something else. So I'm a little bit. And you know what? Somebody else said about JLC. I think that guy from Denmark was saying that he's had problems with JLC. So maybe the JLC thing it's a fugazi. Maybe JLC really is a fugazi, right? Yeah, I'm gonna sell to Juan. Yeah, I'm into that watch for like $9,000, and there we go. That's right. Well, you know what? Listen, not only is it a provenance, right? It probably has my DNA in it, right? Because, it's a leather strap. I wore that a bunch of times. Now, there's no body fluids other than perspiration that I'm aware of. But, it probably absorbs, some. By the way, that's the other thing. You don't want, buying a watch on a leather strap that's been worn. It's kind of weird because it's got some other dude's like DNA in that strap, right? Maybe some guy was jerking off wearing that watch, and that's absorbed in the strap. Now that's going to go into your wrist. It's going to be absorbed, through like cellular osmosis or something like that. So that I think you should always get a new leather strap when you get a watch. But my leather strap is from Camille Fournier. It's a nice watch. But I think it definitely needs a service. It's going to need a service. I don't know what it is. From what I understand, it's a minor thing. But I don't want to wait 6 months. I might just have to blow it out. Anyway, look, Mr. Snoo, or I should say Baron Snoo. Look, that watch, it comes full set. That's right, full set. Unbelievable but true. That means, box, papers, and the pusher. It's got a nice pusher. What else? Outer box, I think it has. Yeah, outer box. And I'm willing to let it go for $10,000, and that would be like the cheapest price on the planet. It's going to cost you though a little bit of money. But here's the thing. You got to realize this. It's a rose gold watch, right? And you got the deploy that's rose gold, and you got the flip back case, the hunter case in the back. That's a solid. It's probably like 2 ounces of gold in there. So that's $6,700. No, excuse me, that's $6,000. It's probably $6,000 in gold in that watch. JLC is no longer doing that. And so that watch is actually the reason why they're going up in price is not so much. I mean, it is part of it is people they see value in it, but also the gold content. People are willing to pay more money because it's got the gold. JLC is no longer doing gold deployment clasps on their more modern watches. But anyway, that's it. All right, gentlemen's. Let me know what you think. Leave your nasty, vicious comments below. And there you go. That's what happened. We'll see you in the next one.